new departure in automobile styling takes the road on Detroit proving grounds. The XNR Sportster is an idea car built by one of the major automobile manufacturers, and like idea cars of recent years, its innovations may well foreshadow things to come on America's highways. Barely 3.5 feet high from the ground to the tip of its off-center stabilizing fin, the XNR carries streamlining farther than ever before. A dream car come true, one of Detroit's top designers.
No one would disagree that Virgil Exner is one of the greatest automotive designers in history, period. This car really shows his design aesthetic perfectly. It's reflected in the name, XNR. He takes the idea of an asymmetrical piece and carries it through from front to back. If you look at the hood scoop in the front, the 4 headlights, kind of reminiscent of the Diablo in some ways, and the tail fin at the rear, where reminiscent of a D-type, which he liked. And then the interior, the cockpit, from the wooden steering wheel to the gauge cluster, which, not surprisingly, looks a little bit like camera equipment, which is one of Virgil Exner's passions.
The plans and the clay model and a Valiant chassis was shipped over to Ghia in Italy, where the craftsman there built the car, hand-built the car out of steel, which was an unusual process for a concept car at the time, where most were built out of fiberglass.
This truly is rolling artwork. It's a stunning design. As a moving, driving, functioning idea car, concept car, it has a heck of an exhaust note. Sounds fantastic and really gets up and goes.
Virgil Exner had hoped originally to own the car, but as it were, the car ended up being shipped back to Ghia in Italy, who claimed the rights for the car. This was a very fortunate thing, because normally when a concept car was developed, it was subsequently destroyed.
If you look at the Plymouth XNR, you have to really consider 1960 America. The space race was starting to mount, and if you compare Plymouth and Chrysler's offerings to what GM and its futuristic Motorama show cars were looking like, this was really a marked break from tradition.
And the Shah of Iran ended up owning the car. From there, he owned it for some time and sold it to a car dealer in Saudi Arabia. It ended up going to Lebanon, where through a couple of other owners, it ended up in the present owner's hands, who actually hid the car away for many, many years through the civil war in Beirut.
The XNR was something completely different than what the American buying public had seen before. Not only was it a dream car, it was an all-steel running and driving dream car that, as we can see from historical footage, clocked 150 miles an hour on Chrysler's proving grounds.
Although the car was very, very complete when we received it in 2008, there were many parts that were obviously missing. The body was intact, most of the suspension parts were there. The dash panel was missing, but the door trim panels were there to be used as patterns. But overall, the car was in fairly good shape. The hours spent on it was 2 solid years, and many, many man-hours to bring it back to its present form.
The XNR has been out of the eye of the public for a very long time now, and this is really its return to the United States, where it was first unveiled. And the fact that it's being offered now for the first time at public auction is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It's good.